Afternoon and welcome to the MK season previews. I'm Mike Austin. I'm here with my co-host Scott Walker. Today we're going to be looking at the MKS inaugural season preview as well as MK1. Long-term race fans are well familiar with a lot of the faces there, but there's going to be a lot of exciting stuff to talk through. This is probably our biggest season preview yet, and I'm excited to dive into it. You know, we're back in Tampa Bay, and things are a little wetter over here, aren't they?
Yeah, no, it's I think, you know, the climate's a little bit wetter, and
the studio is too.
The studio and you too, Mike. You know, I think last episode we spoke about, you know, that dry mic and just that laser focus, and yeah, I mean, that seems to be gone.
Well, you know, I mean, you take these 15-hour flights and, you know, you're a little groggy off the flights, but I think the laser focus is still here. And I think that I bring my A game. I've fought through a lot and I stayed on top despite it.
Yeah, I mean, those 15-hour flights are pretty drastically different experiences for us. You know, we're both obviously in the middle seat in I don't know. Yeah,
it seems odd to me. You know, there's lots of people our producers up in first class, and meanwhile we're very back of the plane, and you know, we're not even allowed to sit together. They've booked us in two middle seats.
That's not that bad, but yeah,
but you know, I'm leaning over into the aisles over somebody who's sitting at the side seat. They're not happy. I'm trying to talk to you, and
yeah, you weren't talking too much. You're leaning over for your I don't know what you call them, tequila sunrises, but they were really just, you know, just tequila and a little orange juice. And I think you knocked back. I mean, I remember you telling the stewardess, you know, 2 on the hour, and then you made a joke about how your definition of an hour was 10 minutes. So you wanted 2 every 10 minutes for the duration of the 15-hour flight. And, you know, we just saw you, you know, you were like, I don't know, you had your head down on the table, on the tray, and you were just, I don't know, it was like Dr. Jekyll and Dr. Hyde. It was just like, I don't know, it was crazy. Yeah, I thought this was a new mic, and then the second you get on that flight, it's just like, you know, and then the weird thing is you knew it was 2022 in Saudi Arabia, and then through the process of the flight, you thought it was 2020 when we landed. So it was like the flight was a time machine for you.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I don't remember a lot of that. I was sleeping so much, you know.
It wasn't sleeping, but
I had my neck pillow on. I put it on when we got on the flight.
Yeah, it's Tampa Mike and Saudi Mike. We got to get used to that because it's drastically different. But I mean, I said last time I love laser focus Mike. I love good time Mike. So, you know, it's kind of best of both worlds for me, but maybe not for you, but it's it's wild to see. These 15-hour flights are going to be interesting as the season goes on. Yeah,
I mean, I sleep so well on the flights back just because we did so much and had a good time in Saudi Arabia. Yeah. But, you know, the flights there, I agree. They're a little stressful. It's a long time. And
the flights there, you're drying out on the flight there. Again, it's like this time machine. You know, you go forward 2 years on the way there, go back 2 years on the way back. So I don't know. But yeah, things are wetter in more ways than one now that we're back in Tampa.
Yeah, we're having a good time. And I mean, how can you not have a good time when you're previewing? You're about to open up, as you said last time, some incredible presents. It's Christmas morning
again.
And boy, oh boy, it's like, have we been good boys? 2 leagues. Usually we only have 1 racing league to look forward to, but I mean, this is exciting stuff. And,
yeah, it kind of makes up for all those Christmases as children where we didn't get anything except, you know, stepdad or maybe a little beating, but no gifts for old Mike and Scott back then. But boy,
yeah, that wasn't my experience, but, you know,
I thought that was, anyways, I mean, we all have different traditions. So, who's to say which is better? But boy, is it, I'm making up for lost time now, Mike. It's,
you know, we'll talk about that off air sometime, but, you know, I think to dive into it, you know, the MK1 premiere is coming up this weekend, and I think the thing that's exciting about it, they're doing it bigger and better than ever. And I think even race fans of MK1 can agree that the Saudi League is pushing MK1 to do things, you know, that are a little bit more exciting. You haven't seen premieres like this with this much buzz, you know, ever.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think MK1, you know, the commissioner's office has maybe taken a different route than we would have expected. They're really leaning into that 9/11, you know, story of the Saudi connection and things like that. So, you know, some would say maybe they should focus on making the league better rather than trying to tarnish MKS. But, you know, like you said, the buzz is in the air. I feel the electricity, and from what I hear, the opening weekend for MK1 is going to be huge. Very patriotic, very focused on freedom. I think we got New York Minute, you got Excite Bike, the huge crowds. It's going to be an extravaganza, and I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. I mean, tune in beforehand because they've got, one of my favorite comedians, Jeff Dunham, coming up there. He's got those incredible puppets, and he's got Occupant the Dead Terrorist. And, that's the kind of stuff that's going to make you laugh, and it's going to make you feel good to be an American.
Good times.
Unless maybe you're a minority, but or part of the PC police.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to get the people laughing. But
laughing and smiling on a tough day.
Oh, yeah. But then we got, the big dog himself, Kid Rock, is coming out, a favorite of both yours and mine.
Oh, yeah.
Ba with the ba, the bang to bang. Oh, man.
That's going to be hot.
That gets the people going. And, it's going to be a huge event. And there's no better, opening act than Mr. Rock.
Yeah, and I mean, I hear that he's going to do a little bit of Proud to be an American, and I think usually you like to stand and take your hat off. I think I might turn mine around and flip off the damn Saudis with this one. Sorry to the guys signing my paychecks, but today, 9/11.
Good time Mike is back.
Boy, I think it's going to be fun. That's a little fun ribbing. We get paychecks on both ends, and we loved our time in Saudi Arabia. I mean, we can talk about that in a bit, but...
we're back.
But it's 9/11. You got to take a day off of being Saudi Mike and Saudi Scott, and you got to maybe flip the bird for America.
Oh yeah, it's the land of the free. I love it here. I love Tampa. I love Kid Rock, and I love flipping the bird. Yeah,
and I mean, speaking of land of the free, I think that Saudi Arabia is a little bit more free than we expected. I think we had a fun time over there. I was expecting a lot more repression. We went to the beach. I was in my swim trunks hanging out. I didn't expect to get that loose and wild without, a cocktail in my hand.
Yeah. I mean, it's, I'm still getting used to, the culture shock of it all because, in America you swim, it's kind of, the people who wear shirts in the water, they're kind of losers who aren't confident, but there, like they'll ask a cool guy to put on a shirt in the water. That's what they did to me.
We were all wearing just swim trunks and hanging out.
No, it's just different. Like they were like, Mr. Scott, partake in our traditional swimwear. So I was wearing a white T-shirt in the water, and it's an even playing field there.
I don't know if there's any,
there's a lot of covering up there, both male and female, and it's just still getting used to it.
Yeah,
but I don't mind that.
I don't think there's anything religious about a white T-shirt that you have to wear only in the swimming pool, but. I'm glad that you enjoyed your time over there swimming too. I was happy to show off my body, and I think that a lot of people were happy to see it too. But we're going to be previewing the individual seasons and as well as some of the team seasons, talking about some exciting events. But I thought it might be fun first to talk about a little preview about what Mike and Scott have in store for the next 6 months, and just sort of preview how we see our lives going over this season. Because last year was tough for me. I'm not going to lie about that. That was a really, really tough year. And I think manifesting it and putting it out in the world that we've got some goals and we're going to accomplish them too, that might be a little fun. And we can check in at the end of the season and see how we did.
Yeah, I mean, goal setting is normally, kind of reserved for, those losers on Instagram, but not this time around. This is, our producers are making us do it. So we are, and, we're happy to oblige because... As Mike said, putting it out in the air, the wet air here, the dry air there. It's, I think things could happen.
Oh yeah. So Scott, how about you? Yeah, tell us how you see and preview your life over the next 6 months.
Love, Mike.
Okay, interesting.
It's, I think, I kind of went through all the girls on this continent, and I'm happy to go to a fresh continent with new women, and I think it's going to be a lot different. Things started off, I was invited onto the Bachelorette Saudi edition.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, no, I was excited for that. It turns out I was a bit of a joke character, but that would have got other people down, but not me. I've been, publicly shamed before, and it's just rolls off my back like water on my T-shirt in the pool. So it's, I think it's going to be big for me. I'm really looking forward to this year, and with the shirts on in the pool, it's kind of, I think I'm looking. It's a better vibe for me. So I think it's going to be big.
Anything else that you have in store?
No, nothing more important to me than, being like you, Mike, and having, a successful love life with lots of kids and lots of ex-wives. And, I'm hoping to join you.
Okay. Well, I've put a little bit of work into my preview for my next year, and I think that it's going to be exciting. And transport yourself to sort of 6 months to the day from now. So it's going to be from that perspective.
And what year would that be?
Oh, boy.
Don't worry about it. I don't want to fluster you.
I'm closing my eyes and I'm seeing the number 2 quite a bit, but I'm trying to place where it would go. And oh boy, I mean,
yeah, it's all right. It's,
as I say, we just got off the flight, 10, 15 hours ago. Was it 10, 15 hours ago? I don't know, but things are a little bit.
It was a week ago, but that's all right. I don't want to, this is your time.
Things are a little wetter here, but I've written this out. Let me just go over this.
Never seen you this prepared before. It's funny because like Dry Mike wrote it out when he was laser focused, and Wet Mike has to read it.
Yeah, I know it's tough, but okay. I'm hanging out in my best friend Billy Baldwin's garage, just killing time, making the most of a hot summer day. We're standing sweaty back to sweaty back, just shredding some epic chords on our axes to the tune of Thin Lizzy's Boys Are Back in Town. But in my life, there's no back in town anymore. The boys simply are in town. Although you could find me rocking away in Billy's garage any day of the week ending in Y, today's no ordinary day. My best man player stands up from the drum set on which he's been keeping tight rhythm to complement the psychedelic guitar Billy and I use to express our deepest selves. Here comes the bride, bro, he says, walking over and putting his python arms around my shoulders, pointing his drumsticks at the radiant vision walking towards us in the driveway. My perfect 10th wife and my brilliant soon-to-be stepdaughter are walking up the driveway. Player jokingly puts me in a chokehold. It's firm, but I know these arms could never bring any harm to me as we smile, laugh, and roughhouse. Dun, 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 Billy says, conducting an imaginary orchestra. Save some of that for when you play us down the aisle, I say to Billy, laughing at these 2 clowns I'm blessed to call my best friends. Up walks my gorgeous soon-to-be wife. Glancing at Billy and Player, I smile and I think, gentlemen, it's okay to stare, but please pick your jaws up off the floor. Victoria walks up and grabs my arm, signaling to any woman within a 500-mile radius that, sorry, he's mine. I just wanted to stop by and say you really handed Stephen A. Smith his ass on first take today. That's nice of you to come all this way to say it, but I thought it's bad luck to see the bride before the wedding, I say to her, teasingly. That's only if I'm wearing my wedding dress, she says, flirting back. Wait, you're not walking down the aisle in this, I say, smiling, and pointing to the spaghetti string bikini and high heels she has on. This gets everyone laughing, but no one more so than my beautiful bride-to-be. Making her laugh is one hell of a cure for depression if there ever was one. Not that I have depression with how much my life rocks. Babe, stick around until all the groomsmen get here, I say, putting my arm around Billy and Player. Corey Feldman's almost here, and he's going to teach us how to do lead vocals and guitar for Rockin' Revolution. Scott's going to play tambourine. It's going to be one hell of a show. I'd love to, but I'll save that for the first dance. For now, I'm going to go back to our top floor penthouse apartment. With player coins skyrocketing, it was a drop in the bucket to buy out all 10 floors above my penthouse and demolish them with a calculated detonation. Nothing was sweeter than handing the eviction papers to the couple who rented the top floor and would make a point of holding their breath every time they took the elevator with me. Now, the only time people are holding their breath is in anticipation of the incredible wedding kiss that will make us Mr. and Mrs. Mike Austin. But that will have to wait for later in this perfect day.
That's awesome, Mike. It's gonna be a good 6 months, I think.
I'm looking forward to it, and I'm really thinking about a stepdaughter would be nice out of this. I think all the other stuff is, I'm feeling it's going to be in the bag pretty soon, but that stepdaughter, that's the one thing that's eluded me in my life. I've had many beautiful wives.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about a fantasy with Player and your marriage so close, but...
Well, we're best friends, and he'd never hurt me, so he plays drums, and I hang out with Billy Baldwin. That's something that I'm looking forward to getting back, into. I used to hang out with Billy quite a bit, but we haven't talked a lot since, we got in a big fight. I told him that there's no way his brother didn't pull the trigger on a gun, and it's this whole thing. And I mean, he just gets pissed off at me about it. He's saying, admit that my brother didn't pull the trigger. And, I was strangling. Yeah, it was a whole thing, but it was really ugly. But I think that we're going to get back and be friends again.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hopeful just, for you to stay on track here, but, it's quite a fantasy.
I mean, it's not a fantasy. It's going to be happening, but I appreciate that it's your fantasy life, I guess, but it's going to be a reality very soon. And, I'm looking forward to handing those eviction papers out as well. Those people, they're not nice people, but, that's going to be fun. And we'll reflect on that in a few months at the end of the season, see how things actually went. But, for now, I know the racing fans, they're looking forward to this racing preview. So let's dive into that. Let's talk about the racers.
Man, now it's time to get down to business. This is what we're here for.
All right, so let's start off with MK1, the more established league. Let's look at sort of how we're seeing the top three and who are the people that we're going to see challenging the podium that might not quite make it.
Well, the one thing, Midas was top three last year, and he ran from the league. I
don't think so.
I mean, what do you You're believing that conspiracy that 3 stars forced him out?
I mean, we'll talk about that in a bit. Let's talk about the top 3 players first, and once we get over these reviews, we'll talk about that. But let's
top
focus
3,
on.
This is easy. 3 stars.
Do you have any rankings for it?
I think Marky Mark slots in the 3rd, and then SB and Donald. It was kind of a stunner last year that Donald came out on top, but man, I'm probably gonna give the nod to SB. This year, just, he's got the full off season. He's never been pushed before. So, I'm going to go SB, Donald, Marky Mark in those top 3 slots with, controversial Special Tay gets the 4th.
Interesting. Special Tay's never actually won an event.
No, never won. He's won a race on Water Park and we sold that water, but he, I mean, if he wants to get on that podium, he's going to have to win something finally.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I mean, Special Tay's been a racer who's been tantalizing for, 3 or 4 years now. And he is just one of those racers that has the talent to do it, but he never really puts it together. So if he's been working hard on the off season, he's really maybe switched out those big goofy tires he drives with.
I hope not.
You love them.
I love them, but I think he's got to stop lying. I think that's, you get your life off the track right on the track, it'll follow soon after. So he's just a pathological liar, and I think that's number one. And then I don't think the tires really matter after that. So he's just got to stop lying.
Interesting. Well, I've got a little bit of a different setup in my mind. I'm thinking we're going to be getting Sexy Bacon in first place. So we agree with that. He's a man on a mission. He's so talented. I don't think he took it seriously enough. He didn't take Donald as a threat last season. I think now that he's been humbled a little bit, he's going to be going a little wild on those controls, and he's going to be driving very well this year. He might go maybe record-setting pace. That would be my thing. He might just set the league on fire. Donald Hogg in second place. And then I think Rachel is finally going to be making it on that podium.
Man, you Rachel fans, I don't know. I just don't see it. I mean, she absolutely, she came out last weekend, the last weekend of last year. She's on a different bike. She finishes 12th on Rainbow Road.
Oh, boy.
And it's just like, man, oh, man. They had a shot at the team's trophy. Yoshi Soar actually performed, and Rachel Soar was nowhere to be found. So, I don't know. I think she's... at some point you gotta just move on it, Mike. I don't think she's gonna get a podium.
I don't know. I mean, I think that this is finally the year. I think Marky Mark, he's a great racer, but I see 4th place again for him, and I'm not ready to put that constellation back up in the sky of those 3 gorgeous stars that we followed for so many years.
I mean, you see Marky Mark on that when he threw a bomb at himself last year. It's tough to move past that. There could be some PTSD, and I don't know if might be tough for him to recover. So there might be something to that.
Yeah. Now moving on to MKS, how are you seeing this league? The top 3 and sort of exciting racers underneath them?
Man, I actually, I know Midas was the big money get, the first overall pick, got the highest money, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to carry over. I think it was a bit of a flash in the pan. So, I think a lot of people are going to predict him to win the whole thing. And,
oh yeah,
I think some people would say Shell, he's a good racer, but I'm actually going to go Slam to win it all.
Wow.
I think, I just think, he's in a good spot racing with Pam. I think he's going to be inspired. So I think Slam 1, Midas 2, Shell 3.
Oh God. I mean, that's a scary podium for women, I think.
2 Carters. Yeah, I know it pains me to say that, but, it's out there on Carter Ranch. I think they've been driving lots, so it's tough.
That's interesting. I got a little bit of a different thing. I'm thinking Midas in first. You said that's the pick that a lot of people are doing. It's a safe, easy pick, but I think it's the right pick. I mean, Midas just knows how to race, and he's made of gold. He just seems untouchable right now to me. I'd be shocked to see him fall off that number 1 spot. That's why he came to Saudi Arabia, to make big money and win big races.
I don't think that's why he came. I think he was scared.
Well, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
And after that, I think probably I'm going to be going with T-Money, because I think that's another MK.
You got the MK1 Exiles.
That's an MK racer. I think she's got a lot to prove. And then I think Shell, I feel like maybe Slam in 4th place. So, I mean, a big difference between our races and who we're picking, but I think it could be an interesting podium. We really don't know how it's going to shape up. But, I mean, talking about the elephant in the room that you keep on sort of pointing to and gesturing to, but there's this rumor going around that Midas is ousted by the 3 stars.
See, I think it was he's scared. I think he lightning in a bottle beat Marky Mark. He knows it's not happening twice. So he, first chance he got, he ran away to what some are calling an inferior league. So
I don't know about that, doing everything bigger and better.
So, I mean, yeah, you got these, tinfoil hat people saying that the 3 stars forced Midas out because, he was a threat to them, and he knocked off one of their own. But I don't know. We had Midas on here. That's not a guy who is mentally sane, or
we can agree with that, but that has nothing to do. I think that this theory holds a lot of water, to be quite honest. Let me dive into this, because let's look back at the history of MK1 in general. I mean, we can look at Dorkgate, for example. That's where it starts feeling like there's some orchestration behind the scenes to protect
you
the
sound
top
like
stars.
a female fan saying that MK1's got all these agendas.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Let me get into this. So Dorkgate happens. Instead of dealing with it, Shell Carter is exiled from the league. So Donald Hogg loses his biggest issue, which is basically that he puts potentially using Shell Carter, and there's debates about the wording here, but Shell would say as a nerd shield, a little nerd shield.
A dork shield, I think.
Well, I know, but there's the debates here. I think the texts do say a little nerd shield. But that sort of says that there's some orchestration behind the scenes to protect these big names in racing. And I think Midas comes up, and this is the mismanagement of MK1 we see. It's a legacy league. It's got nothing but, the best racers. It's got absolutely the best history. It should be dominating the Saudis, but there's real fears because their commissioner doesn't know what he's doing. He's banning great racers. He's banning people. He's looking and he's seeing the events that the Saudis are doing that are drawing fans, that are things that people asking for forever. And his reaction is, well, maybe we'll go to New York and we'll drive New York Minute, but don't drive too fast.
9/11.
Don't drive too fast. So
here's the
there's
thing.
some 200 cc's over there.
I mean, you're pushing back against the commissioners. So, we always hear the narrative that, female racers aren't treated right. But then there's also the narrative that, he unjustly kicked Shell out. That was for the females, because we know Shell is going to be, inappropriately, talking to them. I think so. I mean, everyone wants to go against the commissioner and say, he's doing this wrong, he's doing that wrong. But at the end of the day, he is a champion of women, and he is not a champion of Shell. And I think that is where he stands. There's a firm line in the sand that it's a no dork league. And I think that's something to applaud him for. And that's, those are morals that MKS clearly does not have when they try and build a league around the Carter brothers. Well,
somebody gave you the talking points, I think, Scott. So
no.
I think, honestly, Mike Austin has a little bit more integrity, I think. I could never be bought off by anybody. So anyway, I think the thing about this is, though, it does hold water. And you think about Donald Hogg specifically, he got off.
Champ.
He's the champ, and he's a great racer, but I think there's that insecurity. He's just got, I don't know, I think he's a bit of a head case, and it's not quite showing. I think MK1 does a good job of covering up for him and sort of shining up his image in the public, but I think that there's a little bit more to Donald Hogg than Lennon, and I think that maybe over the years we'll come to see that, but these are all just rumblings I hear behind the scenes, so I'll keep my lips sealed because I don't want to reveal any official sources.
These rumors, they're just, they're running rampant. It's out of control.
Yeah, so I mean, speaking of this and speaking of the state of MK1, we're talking about the disillusionment of talent, or the dissolution of talent, sorry.
Yeah.
And how do you think that's going to affect, before the podium was a big question mark. You're talking about the 3 stars, just locking them in again. And we're talking about this theory about running off top talent to sort of protect that 3 stars constellation. What do you think it's going to do to the competitiveness of the league? Or do you think some of these new racers can step in? Do you think somebody like Special Tay can really step up and actually challenge the podium? Or do you think that 4th place you gave him is just going to be far off?
Yeah, I mean, when you do look at, the season 3 results, you obviously had Midas in 3rd, and, T-Money was no slouch. I think she was 6th or 7th or something like that. And all of a sudden you take the 3rd place finisher and the 6th place finisher, take them out, and, you're replacing them with pretty, 2 big unknowns. You got Tanis, and you don't even know the name of that, that overseas racer. And some people are saying they could be bottom feeders. They could be, duking it out with, Matt and Carly and Gab and Player and things like that. And so all of a sudden, if you're shifting from, a podium racer and a mid-tier racer to, just these bad racers, it's like, is it something that is going to dilute, the talent of the league? I would push back. I said, you never know with these new racers. They could be stars. I mean, look at Midas. He was an unknown, and he got the podium in a few years. So I don't know, but yeah, that's something to think about. Is the talent being sucked out? And I think that's one of the issues that people are saying when you have 2 leagues. Now all of a sudden, you got to fill it, and I think MKS has quite a few fillers from what I've heard too. So I don't know. Is that what the fans want to see? But yeah, that's what people have been talking about.
That's interesting. I mean, moving on, I guess, talking about the one that got away, so to speak, for MK1. Midas, I think the exciting thing about him moving over here and seeing the Carter brothers is we're seeing a bit of a love triangle come out. I'm talking about Pam Slam and Midas.
Yeah, Slamla, as they're calling it. It's, you could not write this any better. You got Pam and Slam on the same team, and then you got Midas, kind of the big dog of the new league, on another team. So, fans are picking sides.
I know, it's fun. It's becoming sort of the new Team Jacob or Team Edward. I think it's his biggest twilight for people.
There's so many references you could have gone with.
Oh, well, it's fun. It's like, which
one?
I mean, you don't remember Team Edward or Team Jacob. That was pretty much the biggest thing in my life. I mean, I was really
I remember that.
It.
Yeah.
Before I was honking like a car, I was barking like a dog, and I don't need to say anything else.
You were Team Jacob then.
Oh yeah. I mean, that was some hot times.
It explains a lot.
Well, my stepsons were so into it. We'd sit down and we'd watch them through, and I'd take them out to the theaters, and I was watching it with them, but I really got into it, and oh boy, did I become Team Jacob pretty hard.
Nice. But yeah, Slamla. I mean, it's
Yeah, and I think the fans,
what else can you say?
We asked our producer to have a little fun segment in here and show some of the tweets that people are putting out about just getting invested, and I thought it'd be fun to read through them. So let's start putting them up on the screen. And this one's fun. So Slam and Pam are definitely an item. Try to resist those transition lenses at your peril, ladies. So we all know about the transition lenses.
Yeah. I don't know if that's quite the chick magnet this person thinks, but
I guess, that's just one opinion. Here's let's bring up the next tweet. Midas is going to win back Pam. He's got a heart of gold, and I wonder what else he's working with. So
he does not have a heart of gold, I think. That is one thing.
Whoa. So the exterior's gold, the heart's not gold?
No, definitely not. I think that person is misinformed.
All right, well, this is fun either way, even though you're really stepping on my toes. Let's bring up the next tweet. This isn't fun anymore.
I hate Twitter.
You put the tweets down now. You can put the tweets down. It was an antagonistic move by the producers, and I don't know why we keep getting producers who like to do this. That last tweet seems like an inside job. That last tweet was from our former producer, Sarah. She has not had good things to say about us on social media. I do follow her under a burner account, I know, but not going to say which one. She'll probably block me like she has multiple times, but I do follow her, and she's not saying nice things about us, I'll tell you that much. So,
I mean, like cue Don Draper meme. I don't even think about you at all.
Yeah, I wish that were true, but I'm on social media quite a bit. So, I'm happy for you, Mike. But those 15-hour flights there, when I'm getting laser focused, I'm on Twitter and I'm crafting things to say. I'm crafting multiple, profiles to retweet them and quote tweet them, and I think I'm giving away too much. But when you're wet, Mike, you sometimes just keep talking and talking. So I don't know. Let's, move on from that, because I fear any other tweets that are coming. I don't want to talk about.
Yeah, let's stop the.
You can. Yeah. No, put the tweets. I didn't say put the tweets back up. You can take the tweet down. I don't want to see any more of them. Okay. Jesus. So, the last thing we want to talk about with these individual things, with Sexy Bacon, he's really getting a bit of a cult status especially in the Rust Belt. A lot of males, 25 to 60, are really getting heavily invested in him.
He's speaking to them.
He's speaking to them. He used to be sort of very, very low, one of the least popular racers ever. But since he's taken his stand against the Saudis, men in America are standing up, and they're starting to see Sexy Bacon as a bit of a hero for them. So I think this is a bit of a dangerous thing, but it's interesting to follow for sure.
I mean, dangerous for sure, interesting for sure. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like you feel this, I don't know, it's like this energy. And, like you said, it's starting in the Rust Belt, and it's just kind of spreading. I think Californians and New Yorkers, they don't feel the same way. They think SB is kind of a questionable character. But man, in like the Midwest and Tampa here, I mean, I know you see it. I feel it. It's... yeah, people are just, a lot of males are kind of looking up to SB to sort of be, their dad, and kind of like their moral compass. And I don't know, we've had him on the podcast, and, there could be some issues with that, but, you got to give SB a little bit of props, because he was given, an offer for the largest contract in the history of sports, probably, to join Saudis. And he told them, to go screw themselves. So it's, I think that's something that's really resonating with Americans, especially as 9/11 approaches. And, it's scary to see him get even more power.
Yeah, he's somebody that we're excited to actually sit down with and talk through and see what was going through his head.
You're excited to sit down?
Oh, I'm excited. I stood Chet.
You shouldn't be.
I love standing. I love when he comes in the studio, because I get in his face.
No.
I'm big. Oh, I'm big.
You're not big. You're definitely not big. You're 5'3".
No, I am
Mike.
not. No, I am not.
I mean,
how tall are you?
6'3".
No, so
6'3", 330.
I'm 6'3". You're a foot taller than me. You're 7'3".
I'm 7'3". Mike,
you're 7'3".
No, it's just, you shouldn't be excited to have him. I don't want him back. I'm like collateral damage here, but you shouldn't want him back, especially with more power.
Okay. Well, I disagree with that, because, I think that you just, how's the weather up there? You're a little bit tall for...
I mean, you're not, Mike, but
no, I think being 7...
We've talked about this so much, but I mean...
When you're 7'3", I think the air is a little bit thinner up there, so maybe you're kind of not... I don't know why you're saying that I'm 5'3", but I am 6'3", I'm big, and you can see in our photos that they have in these beautiful broadcasts, I'm towering over that couch, so...
Yeah, it's a couch, but I mean, I think when we have SB back, if he does come in studio, I mean, I'll expect, a legion of fans to be outside chanting his name, talking about him running for president and things like that. So it's, there's an electricity heading into season 4, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to the next segment. We're going to be talking maybe the team section of this. And this is an interesting component. Obviously, individual accolades are everything. But it's nice to sort of look and see the money makers, the movers and shakers that are really putting together this league. How's their money being put to use? Because, I mean, you've got Swanky, JD, and Morton, and they've all got flaws on their team, but they've all got potential to win it. I don't see a clear front runner, but I think we could talk through this.
Yeah, I mean, it's all going to be about how Midas handles, this Slamla issue.
Mm-hmm.
Is that going to focus him, or is that going to get him off the rails? And then, you got JD with Shell. How's he going to treat, those two young kids under him? I think you got a little inside info on that. Like, apparently he hasn't been starting well.
No, definitely not. And I mean, just to talk about that for a bit, but Shell Carter, JD is not happy with his big purchase at this point. They were going to a Bond premiere, sort of as a team, a little bit of a team bonding moment. And, the new James Bond is coming out soon with JD in it again. So, I mean, that's a whole other thing. We don't need to do previews for it. I don't think that we can. But, basically, apparently Shell really got into it with the director of the movie, criticizing the cars and the gadgets from it. It was supposed to be this nice talk to the director after the movie. There were some of Hollywood's greatest. And at that point, you have Shell at the front just laying into this director about the technicalities of a car and talking about a rocket car. And it was a real mess. And I think TMZ was just, they're happy about this because I think it's going to cause a lot of issues. JD's a hothead. Shell is hard to deal with. And then you probably had Lucky and Bebo cowering in the stadium or in the auditorium watching that film as Shell, this huge dork towering over this director, just laying into him about things that aren't even true. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. I mean, it just, we haven't even gotten on the track yet, and Shell's already making his presence known. But yeah, interesting to hear Bebo is cowering in the theater because, I don't know, I've watched a little more footage of this kid, and he's out there pretending to fart on the track.
Yeah, I don't like that. I mean, it's making a joke about.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know where he grew up, but this is the big leagues. No more of that, that child's play. It's, I don't know. We heard he had a big personality. I thought it could be a fun personality. It doesn't seem that way so far.
Yeah, and to be quite honest, take the bib off, if I'm being honest. This isn't
Rib
track.
Fest.
This is not Rib Fest.
We're not we're not all you can eat ribs, which we will be at later, and we will be in a bib, but not on the track. That's
absolutely not. Absolutely
not.
Not. No, definitely not. And I think it's one of those things that JD has, I think, the most talent, but it's going to be a completely dysfunctional setting for these guys to develop in. Shell Carter might, if Shell Carter can surprise us both and stand at the top of the podium, that might be enough to uplift the team despite the dysfunction it causes. But I think everybody's going to be dragged down a little bit being in that environment together.
Yeah, I mean, and then, speaking of Belushi, I mean, I guess you weren't speaking of him, but can you imagine if it was John Belushi racing, the Blues Brother?
Is this a bit you have prepared?
No, but I mean, we love the Blues Brothers.
I do love the Blues.
Can you imagine?
I do. Okay.
If just John Belushi? Imagine the gags, and maybe imagine if Jim Belushi was racing.
I think it might look a little something like this. Okay.
I mean, I didn't have anything prepared. But it's.
Can you prepare something? I guess we'll get the producers to prepare something.
I was just saying it would be awesome.
Okay, well,
yeah. Can you imagine the Blues Brothers out there racing? And we're kind of like the Blues Brothers too.
I'm gonna get. We'll talk to the producer. Get something up before the end of the show or something. Maybe in the credits, we'll get some. I thought that you had something prepared. I was just trying to set you up.
Didn't have anything prepared.
The way that you kind of transitioned into it was just like,
I put my fedora on, but it's I didn't have anything prepared, but I do love John Belushi. So
okay, well, as I said, maybe we'll get a rush job on that, and we'll get some fun sort of these guys are pros. They can put something fun together for us. Maybe a Blues Brothers with Belushi or Animal House, smashing the guitar.
Rib Fest tonight, followed by maybe a Blues Brothers marathon. Sounds like
that sounds like a nice time. And things might get a little wetter. My penthouse apartment's now on the 4th floor.
Hey,
so
I'm not even gonna. I can't even complain if you're getting if you're getting wet after Blues Brothers night. It's kind of you have to.
Yeah. So who do we think? I guess to wrap this segment up, who's going to be on the top 1, 2, 3 with these race teams?
I think Morton. This means a lot to him. Then I'm going to go JD, and I think I think Bernie DK's going to finish last. I think.
Wow.
Yeah, I just think I don't know. I think they're relying too much on their legacy. I don't know if Midas is the star they think he is. So yeah, that's what I'm forecasting.
Oh, interesting. And I think I'm probably going to go with Burning DK first, JD Corp second. Basically the opposite. Morton third. I think that. Well, you know what? I'm going to rethink this. I'm going to put Morton in second place. It's going to be
third.
JD third. Yeah, I think that that's how it's going to go for me.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how this pans out. We've got one final segment. It's going to be called Call Your Shot. It's going to be with Scott and Mike, and it's going to be fun predictions for the season. So we got a fun little graphic here, and I was talking about being 6'3". This is about what I look like. They've got us here as Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, and I think that, a couple extra inches on me and maybe a little bit more muscle. That might be me when I'm 25 rather than,
so
45.
You shrunk and...
No, I'm talking about the muscle. I'm still 6'3", but that part's not relevant, and it's just a fun little graphic. But that's sort of what I'm looking like, and what are sort of some fun, to get into like the meat of what we're trying to do here? What's some fun sort of predictions that you have for the season?
Ooh, a little fun one I have. Everyone knows Gab's kind of the South American flair. He's the Latin lover out there, and some would say he hasn't represented the region the best, but we got Tanis joining. So my fun little prediction is that Tanis will be the top ranked South American racer when the season's over.
Oh, that's a fun one.
Sofia Vergara.
Oh.
Imagine if she was racing, Mike.
Interesting. That could be fun. I think my fun prediction for the season is, tequila's on the track. It's going to be...
How? So you think that they're going to introduce that, or you're going to be drinking them as
in the
well?
pit? You get to go down to the pit and you get out a Sunrise tequila and you sort of watch from the pit and have fun. And it's not a situation where security is asking you to leave. You've fallen out of the stands, and it's not one of those things where people are, carrying your body out of the pits.
How is this a prediction? So you have no on-track predictions? It's just specifically regarding beverages in the pit?
Well, it's sort of like a fun prediction. I think we did all our racing predictions, but I thought it might be fun because MK1 is going to be, competing with MKS and MK, just for viewers and stuff. So I think it might be fun to say, hey, we have a new ticket type, and it's that you can drink a tequila
and
sunrise
fall
in the
into the pit and just not.
Well, that's how you get into the pit now. With this new ticket type, you're not going to have to fall out of the stands into the pit. Buy the ticket beforehand, and then you go into the pit.
I said I love Good Time Mike, but
it's tequilas on the track.
Yeah, it didn't take long for it's like the opposite of laser focus Mike. But hey, maybe it'll come true. Maybe both our predictions will come true.
Yeah,
who knows?
the thing that's so weird is I didn't sleep at all on the flight there to Saudi, and I'm laser focused. And then I basically sleep the entire flight back, and now I'm not laser focused.
Man, it's not the sleep, but let's.
So
nothing else, nothing on the track. No predictions for where races are going to finish.
Well, we already talked about that, and to be quite honest, I'm getting very excited about Tequila Sunrise. There's some exciting things that we're going to be talking about later in the season. Right now, we've previewed the teams and the individual stuff. There's going to be a lot of crossover events, and I just wanted to tease that now. The Champions League that's going to be coming up. So a lot of people who are racing, maybe not for the podium, they're still going to have a big line to sort of shoot for. And that's going to be coming in the top 7 in MK1 and the top 5 in MKS. And those people are going to form basically the Champions League. And I think it's going to be a really, really exciting time to be a race fan and sort of see this crossover potential.
Yeah, it's, we talked about maybe a dilution of the sport when you have 2 leagues, but man, Champions League is going to be the best of the best. I can't wait to see MK1 come out on top.
Yeah, no, I'm excited about this. And, I think, people have criticized us in the past. For a lot of reasons. Find a
some
book
fair,
and point to.
Some not.
Yeah, some fair, some not. I'd say most not.
Yeah, I'd
to
agree.
be quite honest with you, and I'm not being biased there. But one of the criticisms I do agree with is that we don't have a nice outro, sort of. Yeah. We don't have a signing off phrase. And, I thought, Scott, you could test one out as we sort of sign off of this season preview.
Stay dry.
You want to try again?
Stay wet?
Let's go away from staying dry or staying wet. Let's stay on the track.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
The end of the podcast, they're starting their engines.
Ladies and gentlemen, turn them off.
I don't know about this. We're going to have to workshop some stuff. Maybe we'll get some tweets out there and hashtag.
I mean, you try. This is odd.
Oh boy, I'm not in the right headspace.
Honk your horn?
No. There's you can see me on the freeway later.
That's the.
You can see me. Let me take my car out for a drive.
No, why would?
Well, okay, I think I have it. If you're in your car right now, turn off your radio. The show is over.
Okay, catchy. So are we playing the music now, or
the music's been playing? You don't have your headphones on, but the music's been playing. They thought we were signing off, and it's been playing for the last minute. So